What's up people, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video here at Most Amazing Top 10. Now Cartoon Network was my go-to when I was young. I didn't have Disney Channel for the longest time, so Cartoon Network was all I watched. When I woke up and had breakfast before primary school, when I got home it was like Powerpuff Girls, Codename Kids Next Door, Ed, Edd and Eddy, like I could go on. But today's video unravels our favorite 4-foot red-headed boy genius. And unlike Dee Dee not pressing that button, you guys should definitely go ahead and press that subscribe button. This is the top 10 scary Dexter's Laboratory theories. Starting us off with number 10 is the family. Now if you've seen the show, then you know that Dexter's family is of average intelligence at best, and I'd go as far as to say that Dee Dee is a dumb. So how did this prodigy come to be surrounded by idiots? Now a fan theory on Reddit claims that Dexter had an experiment go wrong in his lab when he was younger, which resulted in a giant explosion killing his real family. The family he lives with now are actually Dexter's own creations. Think about it, plagued with the sadness, what is a genius boy who just wants to be with his family to do? Recreate his family through science. So the theory claims Dexter's entire family are just clones of his dead family, but something clearly went wrong in the Matrix since they weren't exactly the same. More dim-witted, not as attentive, just not fully there. But what did he expect? Clones are physically and genetically identical, but that's about it. You can't clone a personality. But wait, it gets juicier. Coming in at number 9 is the family part 2. So I had to make this one into 2 parts because the second sub-theory within this theory was just too juicy to pass up. This one claims that Dexter was doing an experiment in his lab when he was young, but he's a boy genius. He would never make such a gross miscalculation that could kill his whole family. So what if it wasn't him? What if Dee Dee pressed the button? And what button, you may be asking? The coveted button she's never meant to press, yet manages to do so in every episode. Yes, that button. What if she pressed the button during the experiment and blew everything into pieces? Everyone died except Dexter, and he blamed himself for their deaths and again does his best to resurrect them through science. But this time he makes Dee Dee even more dumb just so the same thing doesn't happen again, and in hopes she won't rediscover his lab. But this time he recreated them and made them able to withstand any damage. That explains why he was so confused when his mum got sick in the maternal combat episode. Like, as a boy genius you'd think he'd know how biology worked, and I'm sure he does, but his confusion lends itself to the theory. He's confused at how she could get sick when he made her invincible. I actually really like this theory. The dead family thing is morbid as hell, but otherwise it seems pretty solid. At number 8 we have the siblings. Guys, guess what's back? Back again. Incest back. Tell a friend. I don't know how I can manage to get this on nearly every video I do, but there we go. This theory claims that even for an older sister, Dee Dee is surprisingly very attached to her baby brother. Like, super attached. Like, almost too attached. She gets upset when Dexter ignores her, like a girlfriend would. She's super touchy-feely, like some girlfriends are, and she tries to distract him from his lab work all the time so she can get attention, like a girlfriend would. Are you kidding? We love attention. We eat that up. Either way, he's the only boy in the show she treats that way, and normally in any other show, if they weren't siblings, it would look like she's way too interested in him and he's just not interested. The creators of the show most likely wanted an introverted guy and extroverted girl plot, but Dexter would have been too pragmatic to catch on that anyone was actually flirting with him, so they made the characters siblings. Enter Dexter and Dee Dee, yet they still kept the whole one-sided romance thing as well, so mildly incestuous theory over here. Filling our number 7 slot is the disease. Now this theory is bloody sad. It really made me feel a type of way when I was reading it, I'm not gonna lie. It claims Dee Dee has an incurable disease, meaning she never survives till adulthood. That's the reason she's so eager to always be in Dexter's lab and spend time with him, because she wants to spend as much time with him as possible and also get him out of the lab and make him enjoy his childhood and life while he still can. In one episode where she was sick, their mum literally forced Dexter to read to her because she knows Dee Dee doesn't have much time left. It also explains why Dexter never met Dee Dee's adult self in the episode Ego Trip, because she's dead before the time he travels to. Now if you're wondering why Dexter doesn't know about her life-threatening illness, it's because, genius aside, died, he's still just a kid. And there are things like that which you just wouldn't even know how to explain to a child. Dee Dee could tell him herself, but she'd rather just spend time with him and live life to the fullest, hence she's always just happy and energetic. She doesn't want him to feel guilty after she dies about not spending time with her, and so she just stays in his lab as much as possible. RT if you cry every time. Now at number 6 is the lab. There had to be a theory about the lab. Come on, it's like as much of a main character in the show as Dexter himself. Let's not sleep on the lab, people. Hashtag all labs matter. Anyway, this theory comes from Jeremy Nerdy, who thinks his lab may not have been real at all. The theory goes on saying Dexter is socially awkward. That is a fact. He doesn't really have any friends, he's alone pretty much all the time, and he may have Asperger's syndrome, which could explain how he's literally unable to empathize with Dee Dee in any way, shape or form. He views his dad as just an incompetent imbecile when really he's probably just sad he's not a genius as well. And he sees his mom as a moody woman. Is that really true, or can he just not recognize that something could be making her angry? So because of his loneliness, he may have conjured up being a genius and having this huge lab and doing cool experiments just to pass his time. Just imagine little Dexter in bed just daydreaming all day about a lab that doesn't exist. Like, this is a sad theory, you guys. We can't do Dexter like that. Coming in at number 5 is Dexter, and I'm talking about Dexter the crime drama show where the guy kills like a bunch of murderers. This specific theory claims that Dexter from Dexter's lab is actually Dexter from the show Dexter. Well, I know I'm saying Dexter a lot in this video, but how many times did I just say it in my first sentence? Lol. Now anyway, let's analyze cartoon Dexter for a second, and I'm just gonna split them into cartoon Dexter as in Dexter's lab and real man Dexter from the other show, you know, just to clarify. Anyway, cartoon Dexter has trouble fitting in, and I think that's evident. He's smart, he kind of hates the world around him, and he talks to himself all the time, which is very similar to real man Dexter. The theory says that perhaps the lab in his house is actually young man Dexter's way of talking about the basement where he butchers animals. Dee Dee is a nickname for real man Dexter's excitable and childish sister, Deborah. I know it's a stretch, but I mean, anything is possible, right? At number 4 is Dee Dee. I know I said Dee Dee was a dumbass earlier, and admittedly that was a bit harsh. She's a very sweet girl, and this theory totally throws my words out the window anyway. So this one claims that Dee Dee isn't dumb at all. She's just hyperactive and playful, and in hindsight it actually takes a lot of brains to break into Dexter's lab on the daily. Like, she's up against mini Einstein every day. Dee Dee, you're doing great, sweetie, I just want you to know that. But back to the point, and lest we forget, Dee Dee mastered general relativity before Dexter did. Dee Dee 1, Dexter 0. The girl knows what she's doing. Even in the first episode when she's checking if he's ready for school, his door is locked and she literally just takes out a credit card and opens his door like breaking and entering is her full-time job. The point the theory is trying to make is that she's young and she enjoys her life. She tries so hard to get Dexter out of his lab by breaking his things because she just wants him to go outside and spend his childhood playing rather than being locked in his lab, which is wholesome. Dee Dee is wholesome. In the episode where he makes her smart in a science project, it's interesting because it's not that he makes her smart, he just makes her non-hyperactive, so all her brain focuses on is her intelligence. Filling our number 3 slot is Breaking Bad. Now, I haven't seen Breaking Bad personally, but I know it's about a chemistry teacher turned meth producer, and that's about all anyone needs to know. So according to this theory, Dexter's lab isn't just any old lab. Yup, he's making meth just like the rest of them. It's always the good ones. I mean, how else do you think Dexter could keep up with all the electricity needed to power his lab? He has to be selling meth, it's the only way. And the theory even brought in Dee Dee, saying the reason she's trying to always break in and break stuff isn't because she's just annoying, contrary to popular belief, it's because she's a meth addict herself and is trying to find Dexter's produce, which he keeps very well hidden. Dee Dee being a meth addict also explains her behavior. Meth can give the user feelings of energy and confidence, and Dee Dee is basically bouncing off the walls, so I mean it checks out. Now at number 2 is Mandark. Now everyone knows that Mandark is Dexter's arch nemesis. In some freak of nature coincidence, there is not one but 2 boy geniuses living basically on the same street. I don't know how that happened, I don't know how that worked, but okay. So obviously there was gonna be drama, there was gonna be scandal, and there was gonna be competition. The first time they meet in class, Dexter is shook that not only is the new kid smart, he's probably smarter than him. If you look at it from a shallow level, yes, it looks like they hate each other, but this theory claims that Dexter Dexter is actually in love with Mandark. He's never met anyone that matches him intellectually, he's always felt superior to everyone, and he finally found someone that would get all his jokes that no one else would understand. They could be geniuses together, make things in their labs. Dexter doesn't hate Mandark, it annoys him how much he actually likes him. Mandark matches Dexter in every single way, so in that sense it was love and hate at first sight. And from the minute they meet, they're always trying to outdo each other. Dexter is probably hoping he invents something so spectacular that it blows Mandark away and into falling in love with him at the same time. I mean, they never talk about Dexter's sexuality because the show is old, it's a kids show, but he could be gay, who knows, it's completely plausible. And finally, at number 1 is Dee Dee. This one is wild, so hold on to your seats, boys and girls. Now this theory claims that at some point or another in the future, Dexter does two things. Number 1, he has a daughter, and number 2, he makes an invention that threatens to destroy the whole world. Dexter, man, you have to stop making dangerous shit. It's just not funny anymore. Anyway, to save the world from himself, he sends his daughter back in time to his younger self, but he sends her back and tells her to pretend to be his sister. That explains why no matter what protection or lock he puts on his lab, Dee Dee can always surpass it because she's grown up with this man, this boy raised her, she knows this lab inside out. Also, the cherry on top is her name itself. According to the theory, Dee Dee is a code name for Dexter's daughter. And that's it for today's video, guys. It was actually really fun taking a show I used to avidly watch as a kid and just flip it completely. Of course, Dexter's Lab was a great show, it passed a lot of my time when I was young, as I'm sure it did a lot of you guys as well, but little did we know we were watching incestuous siblings and a meth production facility. Isn't hindsight a wonderful thing? Anyway guys, I've been your host Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!